So we were so high on Purdue as recently as a week ago, right? A week ago, we're saying they're the number one team in the country. They got those two big boys that you can throw in there in Edey and Travion Williams. Jaden Ivey looks like unstoppable when he wants to be. And they lose at the rack to a Rutgers team that was without Geo Baker. And then they probably should have lost today against NC State. I mean, they were down 10. Yeah, they were down 10 with about 2 minutes left.
13, yeah.
And they ended up winning in overtime in Brooklyn. Ivy goes for 22. You know, listen, Zach Edey played 12 minutes. He was productive in the 12, but it was Travion Williams, 22 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists, guys. 9 assists. Yep. He is their best passer, which is a great thing and a scary as hell thing for me, because I worry about their point guard play. I do. I worry about their point guard play and their defense. Although Travion was really, really good at Mohegan Sun guarding, I still don't know. Sasha, okay defensively. Jaden Ivey can be elite when he wants to be. But here are the numbers. Isaiah Thompson, 15 minutes today, 0 points, 2 assists. Eric Hunter, 30 minutes today, 2 points, 0 assists. Against Rutgers, they combined for 6 points and 1 assist. That scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
You know, here's the thing with Purdue. You know, I think that number one, I've been in the rack. Okay. You play at Rutgers right now. That is a very difficult game. Okay. And Coach Pikel's as good as it gets in terms of having those guys ready to go. He's a great coach. They have some guys who have won some games in there. They know how to win at home. And if you'd have told me before the game started, hey, Purdue's going to lose to Rutgers in the rack tonight, that wouldn't have surprised me, you know, on my own experiences being in there. Road games are hard, especially in league play. But I think what you saw today is probably a little hangover coming off that disappointment. NC State has a great recipe against Purdue with the way that they play. It really
goes. What is it, Arch? What is the way?
I mean, Randolph will tell you, Kevin does a good job. Number one, they're very athletic and they're very talented, and they can pick you up full court and they can mix, whether it's man or whether it's zone, they break your rhythm. And Purdue is a rhythm team on offense who wants to run their stuff. They want to execute. They want to call their plays. And NC State immediately puts a halt to that. They slow things down. Their point guard has to really handle the ball and get him in stuff, or he doesn't even have the opportunity to bring it up at times because they take it out of his hands. So that's step one's breaking a rhythm. And I think, you know, the other thing in the half court they do, they got length, they got talent, you know, they can get in passing lanes. Purdue struggled early dealing with their speed and whatnot. And in particular, I think in the backcourt, their backcourt gave them a lot of problems. But, you know, to me, Purdue, best 2 players on Purdue's team showed up today when they needed them the most. Travion Williams and Jaden Ivey. And if you told me who's going to be first team all conference, it wasn't going to be Zach Edey. It's going to be Travion Williams. It's going to be the guys that have been there at the end of the day. If Zach Edey has a great thing going, which means they have the ability to get him the ball right around the rim all the time, and he's doing work, he's going to play. When that's not happening, Travion's going to play. And I think they also I think Purdue showed their depth. They played a lot of combinations today trying to figure out the game, trying to get a group in there to kind of get them going. And right there at the end, they had Eric Hunter in there, they had Ethan Morton in there. Travion was in there with Edey and at times Gillis, but he tried a lot of guys. And I think they got good contributions from a lot of guys that maybe wasn't a lot of points, big steal here, whatever it may have been. But Purdue weathered a big week. They had a hard loss, probably didn't go home, went right over to Brooklyn. And NC State was a prime team to give them problems. I thought NC State would give them problems with the way that they play.
I think you're right about the distance. I mean, they stayed in Jersey. They didn't go home. That's an unusual schedule. These kids have been on the road for a long time. The other thing I think we got to think about is being number one is different for Purdue. They've been good, but they hadn't been number one, right? And so everybody's gunning for these guys at number one. And like you said, NC State is different because for Purdue to be a traditionally big team, they played really, really big. NC State is small ball, 1 through 4. They're taking you off the dribble. They're going to put you constantly in ball screens. So whether it's Edey or it's Williams, they're kind of in drop coverage. You saw Williams come up tonight, get a couple of steals. He hedged really hard, but they're going to be in drop coverage. I thought that was the toughest matchup as they're going to play against with that athleticism across the board. The point guard play is going to be
Braun
tough.
is unbelievable as well. I mean,
Oh,
I don't
1 through 4. Helium,
Helms, yeah,
Smith,
right.
Cam, with Cam Hayes. I mean, those guys can play. They can take you off the bounce. So you can't hide against them. So I was impressed with Purdue coming out. I think Williams today was the one that impressed me today, not just because it's a triple-double. Well, you can tell they pressured him on the perimeter and they tried to push him off the block. Edey struggled to score when they kind of forward him and pushed him off the block. Williams felt comfortable popping out the 3.
He's good off the lane, man.
Getting to his spots. So he set the screen, catch his ability to score and catch it off the move and pass is the difference for them. So when he's at the 5, I mean, he's a nightmare. He's going to be a tough out.
Hey, he was first team all conference a year ago. And I know he's settled in this year to give Purdue a chance, as their coaching staff has probably put it to him, this gives us the best chance long-term, to be the best that we can be. And you know what? He accepted that, but when the money's on the line, he's in the game.